Hello, this is Aquary Zoo, and this little competition of ours, it's not quite going as well as everybody would like, it seems. So I'm going to attempt to explain exactly what this competition is, what it's for, which I think will help a lot. Basic how to of level editing, and how not to. So what is this? This oh, what is this competition? It's well, Fork has pretty much explained it. It's that level editing competition. You make a level best you can, and if it's good enough, if you make three levels that are, if you make enough levels that are good enough, you've got three chances. You pretty much have to get top pick for 2 weeks because of the way the math works. To win the grand prize. Ooh, wow. And that's, I'm just not going to try to explain it that much more. What is it for? Well, it's not just to win some trophy. Contrary to popular belief, it's not just to win a trophy. It's to expand the community. It's to expand our selection of community levels. We've got plenty of sprint, but we don't have much. We didn't have much challenge. We didn't have reverse tag. We had a fair bit of reverse tag, but still, really. But it's also to make you think. It's to improve your level editing skills for no other reason than pushing yourself here. We'll do that. Ooh, that's too high. So, well, how do you make a level? Well, it depends on exactly how you work. But one thing that is going to be common is research. What works? What doesn't? In gameplay, what are a lot of sprint levels? A lot of them have ridiculous times because people don't understand how the car works, what it's capable of. And so, doing your research, we've got a theme of nature here. One problem that I'm not. Just find pictures of nature. Think about what nature contains. This is a theme that can be stretched really, really far. It also crosses very easily with other themes. Spring. I really don't know why. People. Why I see. Last week was sort of a failure because people just didn't seem to really want to do variety. I don't want to see a bunch of Force. I don't want to play through a bunch of Force. I know Fork doesn't want to spend, and I don't know how long. No one wants to spend a bunch of time just jumping through green cones stuck on top of brown cylinders. No one wants that. Get creative. That's what play reverse tag to make dummy. If you are trying something out, see if there are other levels that try that something. And if there's nothing in the rules that say you can't make a second level that's not tagged as STE, that just simply tests the idea. We've got a really bizarre convoluted layout, which with reverse tag you can, and I've seen before. Or you can make just a simple dummy mock-up, publish it, and just get with a bunch of friends and play it. Play test it. Not properly play testing a level is one thing that makes a bad level. Now let's some things that not to do. What you see here is something that's you should probably not do. Carmarine is not something. It's not nature. It works with the nature theme, but as you can see, I'm having to make changes. This is feeling really slow, doesn't it? Slow motion reverse tag. That's probably not going to be fun. Again, something to keep in mind here. Your levels are not going to be played with just 6 people. You're probably going to... Oh yes, that's much better. You're probably going to find yourself reverse tag levels are known for being played with rather large crowds. Take that into account. Okay, so now this may be too big. Again, this is a mistake that I've made before. I've made reverse tag levels before. It's easy to screw up. Again, I'm going to be tightening this up with things like with decorations, so this may end up being okay. Hey, who knows? But things I've screwed up before. Or not pointing the player in the right direction. If you have to... This is a nature-themed track. Nowhere in nature are there arrows pointing to a sphere. Glowing, pointy, light-emitting arrows that point to a sphere. They're hovering in midair. If this is your nature, please tell me where I can find it. I'd like to see if there's a unicorn with a rainbow flying out its butt. There too. It doesn't exist. If you're doing this, you've done something wrong. One thing to know about this competition is we've got that second element. We've got that theme. It has to look... See, I've screwed that up. Up. You've got... It has to look good. It has to be worth taking in. It has to be worth just simply doing this. This has to be worth doing. Just simply stopping at a place and looking around, just taking the sights. That's part of this competition. Don't make it bland level. Don't make it generic level. Something that all of my levels, set it in a world. Make a world out of it. Don't just make a level, make a world. Levels don't have stories, worlds do. You can tell a story in verse tag, you tell a story in sprint, stunt. If you just look at Raver or what I did with it. It tells a story. It tells me. There's actually a handful of stories implied by it. There's a story behind the crispy fork. If you look around, it actually alludes to another story that I'm working on. You have Torched up on stage, throwing. He's got a story behind him. You can tell stories, and that brings people into the level that much more. So, when I say, I also do research for my levels to make sure that all my levels I did some research on. I studied raves. For the Buzzatron, I had a knowledge of electricity, rather extensive knowledge of the electrical system, of our electrical distribution grid. And I studied it further to make sure that what I had was plausible. And I did the same for stealing attraction. Make sure, that's how a lot of that stuff got there. That you don't really see on your, if you're focusing on the track. Now you could call that overkill, but what is if there's just just couple saws doesn't make a track industrial. A couple trees doesn't make, you can't, and just simply, this doesn't really make, what you see here, this doesn't look very much like nature, or does it? It looks alien. Feels alien. I have to add things to it. I have to add life to it. And this is especially important for this theme. You need to add life. You don't just put plants in. Put animals. I've seen a handful of, I think Industrial Dunes is the only one that I've seen with anything that had actual reference to animals in it. And I can't figure for the life of me why, but I also never see people. I see people implied everywhere, but without, a lot of levels just feel dead. If you make a level that feels dead for this week, it's probably not even worth submitting. So give it life. Put animals in there. Put people in there. Yeah. Paul, if you're watching this, you're going to have to I actually invite you to put a little version of yourself in this week's level. And put it somewhere in the world that I've created. Because that's ultimately what I do. I'm not going to say everybody do that. I'm not. It's not quite ready. Distance Worlds isn't quite ready for launch. But that is something I'm personally going for. But just this is a relatively easy theme, people. You can, and it crosses really well with other themes. I have to point this out. Do not go out and make a steel mill and stick a tree right next to the furnace and call it nature. That's not nature. That is industrial fire hazard. You can make a forest and then have a factory working off in the distance and call that nature. Your focus should be the natural world. You could bring the artificial world in small amounts, but it should be focused on the natural world. And don't take. I should have explained this before, but don't. I won't take this completely as a how-to for this week. I can't read the minds of the judges. I'm not a judge. But that's personally what I'm looking for. What I think should be in these things. So, to recap, get creative. Don't be afraid to mix cross themes together. Some. Don't be idiotic and make something that plays like crap. Play test it. Do research. And it's getting late. I think I'm gonna call it. That's all I could think of. Yes, that is all I could think of. So, have fun building your levels. And do what you can to make sure that they don't suck. Most of them didn't suck, but last time mistakes were made. I made a mistake of not guiding the player right. So just work hard or think it through. Don't dive into it. Don't commit to something like this. Especially don't try karma aims. They don't work. This is gonna take a lot of work to make it playable. So I need to get back to work on this. This is Rock Raiders, signing off.